So the next speaker is now Dr. Reinhard Möller from the industry this time. He's coming from TECOMedical, a company which provides us with all the fantastic complement tests for many years. And Reinhard is going to talk about nanoparticle and the assessment of endocrine disrupting effects and other adverse effects of nanoparticles.
Perhaps I can have then I can see. Thank you very much for having me here. I would like to give you a short presentation about nanoparticles and the assessment of endocrine disrupting effects in the sense of ecotox testing. How do I have to do that? Forward. This one. Which one?
Forward, and this is the laser.
Okay, here we go. So you see there is an increasing interest in the current and in the anticipated use of industrial and medical applications of nanoparticles, and the market growth was estimated to reach around, or to exceed around $1 trillion by 2015. I don't know if they reached it, but what this is showing is it's an increasing market. What is happening if products are increasing in the use is that from the different sources like households, industry, hospitals, and farming, these products get into the water, into the sewage, and at the end of the day, it goes back into the drinking water and back to the humans. So there's an important consideration on here. And if you look to these data, these show that nanoparticles, different nanoparticles, are already found in sewage and in wastewater. So it's an issue which is popping up. Further escape of these nanoparticles into the effluent will contaminate the aquatic and the soil environment. It's a citation. So this is a problematic thing which we have to use in. One of these ecological impact are endocrine disruptors. Endocrine disruptors are chemicals, or endocrine disrupting chemicals are exogenous agents that interfere with synthesis, secretion, and transport of metabolism, and so they are interfering with our endocrine system in different ways. And here we see from the WHO that different ways are there how endocrine disruptors can affect humans. It can be in obesity, it can be in fertility. So you see a lot of different areas where endocrine disrupting effects do harm humans. I would like to talk about Vitellogenin as a biomarker for endocrine disrupting disruptors with estrogen activities in fish. And as you see, as I showed before, a lot of these nanoparticles will end up in the water, so fish is a very good model. Vitellogenin is a female-specific estrogen-induced yolk precursor protein, mainly synthesized in the liver and then transported or deposited in the maturing oocytes. It's important to feed the eggs and the young fish. Non-physiological induction of Vitellogenin in males or in juvenile fish is thought to indicate an estrogen-mediated disruption. So that's the sense of the biomarker. And this is recognized and accepted. So Vitellogenin is one of the core endpoint determination for chemical testing in OECD guidelines. Just to show how this is working, is here on estradiol. You see there's a control group, and you see already small amounts of test substances. Here, estradiol giving into the water where the fish are will induce Vitellogenin induction. Here you see the same with the BPA, the plastifiers of the soft maker in plastic. You see that here on much higher degrees, higher concentrations, Vitellogenin is induced in male fish. Why I'm showing you these both things is just to say, well, fish are not the same, and materials which cause endocrine disruptions are not the same. Here you see a very short overview of the testing which was done with NPs in Vitellogenin in fish. And you see there are some different and conflicting results. However, what you also see, there's little done on this endocrine disrupting and testing on the environmental effect. One study, which was done in Norway, recently published, shows the effect of silver nanoparticles alone and in combination with estradiol on Vitellogenin level in turbo. And you see that the effect, and now I have to go there. Oh, that was wrong. How does it work? Okay, you see on the left side, you see that the effects of the nanoparticles itself were quite limited, but in combination with estradiol, you see an increasing effect and the maximum effect with estradiol. Interestingly, the silver itself had an endocrine disrupting effect as seen in the Vitellogenin levels. The fact that a little is done in testing in the water and in fish to see these effects and to help people is that testing of Vitellogenin is normally done in blood and homogenate. This has a lot of impact from legal point of view, so it's not easy to do these tests. We have developed a new system which detects Vitellogenin in mucus, and this allows us to take samples non-invasively and non-destructive. And on the other side, it allows you multiple sampling. That means you can create profiles and timelines of effect of the endocrine disrupting materials. On the other hand, it's very easy to go outside and to see this effect in the nature to do ecotoxical testing. Here you see just for the proof of concept, we compared the three sample types in male and female. Male should be low and female should be high. In serum, homogenate, and mucus. Please keep in mind, mucus is in the level of nanogram per ml, while the others is a microgram per ml. You see there's a similar pattern, so you get the right results. Just to show you how the sample is done, you take a simple swab, you go from the head to the tail while twisting the swab, and you get the sample. You can just sample the second side of the fish, so you get two samples from the fish. And then you just break the swab tip from the, into a reaction vial, and you store it at -20 degrees. And you see the fish are not harmed. It's the proof of a non-invasive, non-destructive procedure. What we have done, and I think we had some similar ideas, the idea was how do nanoparticles affect our test system? And we have two test systems for Cyprinid Vitellogenin, one standard test system which goes up to 70 nanogram per ml, and one ultra-sensitive, which goes up to 2 nanogram. So it's a totally different test system, and we use silver nanoparticles, which we added into our two kit internal controls, into buffer and into a mucus sample from a female fish. And then we just run it in the assay into things and into assays, and you see that there is no differences in this particular nanoparticle. I have to say that if different nanoparticles, they are so different in their size and their properties, physical properties, we recommend that every team should do the same testing for the individual nanoparticle used in testing. Just a short summary. So nanoparticles are released into the environment. Therefore, testing for potential endocrine disrupting activities are important. Pharmaceutical and chemical products with endocrine disrupting activities are of increasing governmental and public concern. There are already guidelines for pharmaceuticals generally, which address these products. And there are different activities to increase the regulatory requirements on EU level. So something which is coming up for us. To test for estrogen disrupting effects of nanoparticles in fish, Vitellogenin is a key endpoint marker. There are already OECD guidelines which demand the testing of Vitellogenin. And the good thing is mucus samples allow repeated and non-invasively testing in order to monitor the effects over time, and also due to the ecotoxical studies. So I think with this kind of test, we have a tool to do more testing on the effect of the different nanoparticles in different areas. Thank you very much.
Please, questions, comments to Reinhard? Okay. Yes, please.
Well, my question is, you said nanoparticles are released in the environment. Question, has anybody ever seen nanoparticles in the environment? Because they are so reactive, they are so accumulating. So the question for me is, if we are building up here a scenario which is not realistic outside, because the nanoparticles are kind of attached to all kinds of things, so you never find them in the environment anymore, especially not in wastewater plants and these kind of things.
Oh, sorry. That's easy. Yeah, basically, I was referring to the study from the United States, this list where they found nanoparticles. There's recently a publication, was done a publication showing that nanoparticles will modulate in the environment. So this is another concern, that nanoparticles, if they are high reactive and they go, for example, into the sediment, that they might change the properties due to temperature, pH, but also cover with proteins or something like that. And they might also form aggregates. So that's what was reported and documented.
Thank you very much.